Haven't been around them today, but I think they'll be good. I think they know we didn't play our best game against a top 3 team in the country, and that's what happens. You have that many penalties, that many turnovers. It's not going to be close.
But you feel like you still got a chance for confidence to be intact leaving this 3-game stretch?
I would hope so. Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, I know speaking, if you were going to ask a lot of people outside of this building if we had a chance to be 4-2 with a win this week, most people would have probably not thought that possible. And so had a tough game the week before. Baylor got after us, and so now let's worry about us and try to get things going for these last 7.
Why do you think that there was as many penalties? Was it just people trying to do too much, Kliff?
Probably some of that. I mean, that was a very good team, probably making up, trying to keep up a little bit. And then, we had one guy, I think, who had 4 or 5 himself and hadn't played a lot. And you can't have that. You got to be ready to go when you're asked to come in the game. And so just disappointing on that end. We'd made big strides in those areas, the penalties and turnovers, and to play such a good team and then have that, revert back to that was disappointing.
And are they doing, I would think early on, were they having to do running drills for penalties?
Yeah, we'll probably have to get back to that after that performance.
Where do you see your defense compared to last year? Do you think it's better, the same, worse, or what?
I think it's a work in progress. That's a very good offense. They've done that to a lot of people, seen that side grow as far as their maturity, their leadership, and so we just had to keep getting better and try and build some confidence over the next few weeks.
Back on the offensive line penalties for a moment and the interior guys' issues, was that maybe because of the caliber of player that Billings is, just trying to be ready for him, or is there?
Yeah, possible. No, I think more, like I said, one guy comes in and ready to play. If you get 4 or 5 penalties yourself, that's hard to put it on anything else, But, yeah, they have a great front. I guess it could have been jitters from that, but to me it's just not being mentally prepared to play.
You also drive to start the third quarter, was really good. How March right down the field and scored. What do you kind of think maybe the difference was with that drive and some of the other ones in the game?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can look at a couple where we fumbled, or moving the ball. I can look at one where we dropped a touchdown pass. And so I think you get behind to that point, people start pressing, and that's what we did. Started pressing, and guys weren't making routine plays, and we were getting penalties. And so just didn't handle that type of pressure well.
Is Patrick getting any sort of treatment on his knee, or is he just sort of letting it heal itself?
No, he's getting treatment every day, and he told me he feels a lot better today, so hopefully by this week he can be 100%.
Can you talk about what kind of treatments he's getting?
Yeah, I don't even know. I just know he goes in there for rehab every day.
LaRaven seemed to neutralize Sean Oakman all day. Was it something that was talked about beforehand, or was that just LaRaven coming out playing his game?
Yeah, I think just 2 good players going at it. I think Oakman had a couple plays. They did a good job moving him around, moved him inside a few times. But just 2 good players going at it, and I thought LaRaven handled himself well.
Looking at Iowa State, can you talk a little bit about the improvement that they've been showing on defense and what that poses for you, and then what you guys see as their weapon on offense?
Yeah, I think they're a much improved team. Played Toledo, who's a top 25 team, very close in overtime, and really had a great game against Kansas last week. So much better than last year. I think defensively they've done some things schematically that'll help them out. They're turning people over, and then offensively, anytime you have a senior quarterback that's played a lot, that's going to give you problems. He can run well, he throws well, and so it'll be a good challenge for us.
Cliff, with all the second or backup receivers that you had to use on Saturday, after you looked at the film, which of those guys had the best all-around games?
Yeah, I think Zach Austin really stepped up. I mean, he hadn't repped a ton with the ones and came in there and made a bunch of plays for us over and over. And Tony Brown had a couple he'd like to have back, but made some plays at the end, which was good to get him going. And we'll see if Lauderdale can go this week, which would definitely help. But, with our offense, the way we do things, if you're one of those young wide receivers, you got to grow up quick because we're going to need you.
What did Devin do?
He had some sort of internal bruising, and so we'll see how he does this week.
somewhere?
Yeah.
Or anything more specific than that?
No, just somewhere on his upper body.
You talked about in the post-game press conference about having some of those young receivers really have to grow up a lot this week. How do you do that in practice to get them ready for?
They have to do it themselves, really. I mean, you put them in the positions to be successful, and you get them as many reps as you can. But that's the deal mentally. They got to come along fast and be prepared to be in the moment and make plays.
Do you feel confident with having them, if we don't have Dylan and Ian and Devin next week?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously not ideal, but guys, I mean, we brought them here for a reason, and they got to grow up and make plays. And I think they're going to get a bunch of opportunities this week to learn the game plan, know what's going on, and so that should help come Saturday, getting a lot more reps during the week.
What is Murph's status this week?
He'll be out this week.
Will Patrick start on Saturday?
He will.
Thanks.
He will.
Whether it was his effort against Texas Christian or the effort this week against Baylor, how do you view Pat Mahomes kind of playing through some pain? And do the fans have an idea of what he's actually playing through?
Yeah, I don't think so. Probably not. I mean, he's a tough kid. Just talking to our trainers, they've been very surprised with the way he's handled it, and the fact that he was able to finish that game and then play this one the way he did. So, just proud of him. I know it really shows his teammates what type of competitor he is, and that helps our entire program.
Is there a different mindset when you go into this game? I mean, in terms of how the players approach it, when everybody's already kind of checked it off as a win around town, as opposed to maybe what you had to face last week?
Yeah, I hope not. You try to fight against that as a coach, because this is a good team. Coach Rhodes has had a lot of success there. It's a veteran team with a veteran quarterback, and they're going to come in here expecting to win. We had a great game with them last year, right down to the wire, and we know it'll be a great game again this year.
Does that even have to be addressed with the team, or that they already know that that's kind of your attitude on it?
Yeah, I think they know. And like I said, a lot of those guys are back from last year when it came right down to the end against them, so they know what type of team's coming in.
What did you think about Davis and his 2 drives that he got to start last week?
Yeah, he did a great job. He's the most prepared guy on the field, in my opinion, every time he goes out there. So to watch him execute at a high level, threw some balls away, which was great when it wasn't there, and made some great reads, made some great checks. He's just always on top of his game.
Besides winning, what kind of improvement are you looking for on both sides of the ball?
Just starts with the turnovers and penalties more than anything. We got to get that corrected. When you do that, you don't give yourself a chance to even compete, and we didn't. I mean, that game was over early based upon the fact we were giving the ball away like we were.
Back on Justin Murphy for a moment, you said he was out this week. It looked, just eyeball that, it did not look good at all. Is it going to be a long-term injury?
We'll see. We're going to deal with it this week and then take it from there.
And with the issues, once he left, with the issues that you had at right guard that you've addressed, what solutions will you look at this week? Do you have any other options?
We do. We'll just create competition in that position. Rob Castaneda is a guy who comes to mind that needs to step up. Emeka Okafor, and we'll have them with Tony get some reps and see who the best guy is, and he'll start on Saturday.
You guys are in some adverse scenarios last year when it got kind of lopsided on Saturday. You looked in their eyes. Did you see give up like maybe you saw sometimes a year ago, or what was that like?
No, I thought they fought. I thought effort was good. Once again, we just didn't give ourselves a chance. If you turn it over 3 times in the second quarter against a top 3 team in the country, you're going to get. That's what's going to happen, and they know that, and we just got to clean that aspect up. But they tried hard, they fought hard, and so that was good to see.
The wide receiver inconsistency, have you seen that during practice, during the week, or is it just 2 anomalies there at St. Lucie State in this past weekend's band?
I think more than anything this week was, you have 3 of your top 4 out. That's going to hurt you. But we can't make excuses. Like I said, with this offense that we run, those young guys got to step up and got to make plays. And so that's something we'll work at this week.
A lot of people saw Baylor last year, the game for Patrick Mahomes, and said that was a big growing up point for the team and for Patrick. But did you also see something last year on the road against Iowa State that maybe kind of matured him as well?
Yeah, to me that was a more impressive effort because we're out of bowl contention. It's cold, it's windy, it's a very tough environment, and he kept bringing us back, and it's not easy to do up there. So I think that's when I really started to see some special things in him.
Samake did not kick off. Was that an injury, or was that situation you just wanted to get somebody different?
Yeah, I just wanted to save his leg a little bit and let Clayton had been doing a good job and let him have some kicks.
Is Patrick's, had a couple picks on Saturday, if I remember correctly. Can you attribute that at all to him maybe not being able to push off as well on that front foot?
No, one was, I think, him just trying to do too much. Once again, feeling the pressure when you get behind like that, you're trying to throw 14-point touchdown passes and they don't exist. And the second one was a 4th down that he threw up and kind of served as a punt. So.
Last question. Can you just talk about Mike Warren a little bit and what he brings to the table for Iowa State and the problem that he poses for you guys?
Yeah, good player. I think we got to do a good job knowing where he's at, and I think more than anything, the thing that jumps out at me this year is just they're a more veteran team. They're not making mistakes, and they're going to be well coached. Their defense coordinator has been there forever, does a tremendous job. Coach Mangino, took Kansas to a BCS game, tremendous coach. So both sides of the ball are going to be tremendously coached, and you got to be ready to go.